Hi, and welcome to Business as Usual. I'm Daneen O'Donnell, and today I am with Lori Kwasnick at the Birdwatchers store in Slippery Rock. And Lori, I have to tell you, when I walked in the door, I was instantly enchanted. I've been looking out your beautiful back window at all the gorgeous birds that you're attracting. So I'm curious how you got into this business.
Well, it's a bit of a story. My husband and I bought the store from its previous owner 3 years ago, and at the time I was not working. My background has little to do with birds. My husband is in marketing, and his background as well, little to do with birds, although he's a collector of hobbies. And once he got interested in bird watching and went down the rabbit hole, he kind of took me with him. And over the years, we've talked about different working retirement models. What do we want to do when we grow up? And a small business in the outdoor category was really something that interested us. And in the course of his contacts, he found out about the store. It was up for sale. We took a drive up one Sunday and fell in love. And that was the beginning. We worked with the previous owner, Kathy, to learn about the business, kick the tires, and here we are.
And here you are. And I think your term of fell down the rabbit hole is perfect. I talked to 2 employees before I came here who both, as soon as they heard I was coming here, said, "Oh, that's my dad's favorite store. That's my mom's favorite store." So tell me a little bit about some of the things that people can expect to find here. First, I see that you have everything you can imagine to learn about birds or to feed birds. So what are kind of your main things that you do here?
Well, you're right. We anything you can think of that has to do with bird watching or learning about birds, we likely carry it or can get it. We are an independent retailer, which allows us some flexibility to kind of create the environment, the experience that we want to share with others who have the same types of interests in wanting to get into the pastime. There's some people who are intimidated by bird watching think that bird watching is for the scientist, the person with the all the gear and the deep knowledge of all the Latin names of birds and whatnot. And there are some who really do get into it that heavily. But most of us, if we have enjoyed nature and we've enjoyed seeing birds, are birders. And it's something that we sort of set out to create as a community around bird watching. And when you come to the store, one of the things you'll notice is a friendly staff. We were very lucky to inherit a staff that was with the previous owner, and they're fantastic. I've learned a lot from them. The environment is warm. The building we're in is an old schoolhouse with a lot of wood, and you'll see bird feeders, bird houses, all sorts of seed and suet products scattered about. We have a back window, which is what we're standing near, that looks out over the property, about 4 acres of land with a pond. And many of our feeders are on display, showing you all the different ways you can feed the birds. And we do get a wide variety of birds that are here year-round, as well as the migrating ones.
Well, I got a kick out of the sign that you have on your website that says birds are cheaper than Prozac. And I'd imagine, especially during COVID, that this business probably boomed quite a bit. Did you get a lot of people that were looking for something to do, that they were stuck at home? And did that help the business?
Absolutely. It was a good year just business-wise. It was crazy from the standpoint of trying to figure out how to deliver the products and the experience without allowing folks in the store. So we got creative. We did a lot of show and tell in the parking lot. We talked to many people who said it was their bright spot in an otherwise depressing time. Being able to look out, see that nature is still doing its thing. They're learning more about birds and got more into the hobby. So yeah, I think bird watching and any other outdoor activity really grew during the early pandemic and still continues to do so.
And I think that you guys offer ways that you can attract certain birds to a yard, ways to deal with bully birds. I've heard things like that. Yeah. So how do you teach people this? Do you have like classes or you just talk to them when they come in? Because I noticed that you also do have events sometimes here too.
Yeah, that's another thing that we've had to kind of navigate through as it relates to the pandemic. But we encourage people to just start somewhere. If you have one feeder, let's talk about that feeder. One of the first questions that we'll often ask somebody getting started is, tell me about where you watch the birds. Do you have a big window that looks out over a yard? Are you in your kitchen, looking at something up close? Do you have a big tree that you hang a hook on and hang your feeder? Start small and then grow from there. It can be overwhelming. Some folks have come into the store and said, wow, I never knew this existed. And we try to break it down into digestible bites and help them figure out where to start. So that's sort of the first step of it.
I noticed that you have different events that are open to the public here at your store. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've partnered with various organizations to bring more of an experience into the store. We've partnered with the folks from Wild Bird Recovery, who rescue and rehab birds, and they've brought in a variety of live birds into the store where people can come and learn about them and get an up-close view. We've had our annual art show for a couple years in a row and have done some workshops on birding with binoculars, and then some other just general information workshops on the different types of birds that we see here in Pennsylvania, what types of feed they like to eat, and the types of feeders that you can use for that. And we've customized programs for organizations if they're looking for a speaker. So that's something that we've done and will continue to do as needed.
Very cool. Well, when I walked in, I noticed that you have all kinds of things. You have bird feeders, seed, but you have artwork, you have ornaments, paintings and things, sketches that have been done. Are they done by local artists usually, but I didn't know you handled stuff like that.
Yeah, we do have a lot of nature-themed gifts. A couple years in a row, we've done an art show featuring local artists and artisans. We're limited in space, and generally it's in February, so we maybe have 10, 12 vendors set up. And what that does is brings local artwork into the store. People can come and support their local artists. A lot of that stuff stays in the store. We have a local photographer we work with. We have folks who make crafts, jewelry. We do try to keep it local, and then we round it out with a variety of other gifts that you can find here. Greeting cards, seasonal gifts, anything that nature inspires.
Well, Lori, I really appreciate you inviting us in to see this store. And folks, I guarantee they have things for young children up to old. If you're looking for a new hobby, or even if you don't think you are, I can guarantee that if you walk into the Birdwatchers store, you're going to walk out with a new hobby. For Armstrong, this has been Daneen O'Donnell with Business as Usual. If you enjoyed this episode of Business as Usual and would like to see more, click on this playlist up here. To catch all the programs on the Armstrong Neighborhood channel, click on the subscribe button down here. I suggest you do both.